So, the final episode of Shockwave tonight opens up with Disrespected No More stepping out of a large limo. And they start walking into the building when they're approached by one of the NGW interviewers. Of course, the interviewer is unnamed. And the interviewer announces, or basically wants to know his thoughts from MJF and Sasha Banks, because tonight it has been announced that Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella will take on MJF and Sasha Banks in a mixed tag match. And MJF smiles, and the rest of Disrespected No More let out a small chuckle, and MJF tells them, I told you this would happen. Bryan is just too hot-headed. He's fallen into my plan every step of the way. What an idiot. That title is as good as mine. And that starts us with our first match of the night. Razor Ramon versus Wade Barrett. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was fun writing that one. I had a lot of fun writing that Rock promo. Rock is part of this interactive universe, so we will be getting more promos in the future. But you can't milk them. All these storylines, I still don't know where you're going with Sting. I love it. Hey. And there's Wade Barrett with Stephanie McMahon taking on Razor Ramon to open up the show. Wade Barrett, another contingent of that Queendom talent agency. Stephanie McMahon putting together a team, basically guys and gals that she calls they're going to be the core foundation of NGW, and Hikaru Shida already the Unified Women's World Champion, so she's already on the mark there. And Cruz and Barrett, they're just a very exciting tag team, very dangerous tag team. They're making progress. And how about that match with Cruz last week with Shawn Michaels? We're here live with NGW Shockwave. Main event announced at the beginning of the show. It's going to be Brie Bella teaming with Daniel Bryan to take on MJF and Sasha Banks of Disrespected No More. And MJF claims that this is all part of his plan. He says he's been one step ahead of Daniel Bryan every step of the way. You just Disrespected No More. They're like cockroaches. You can't get rid of them. Just when we thought things were over, I was at my happiest at Anarchy in the UK when we saw Cedric Alexander lose the television title, when we saw Great Muta lose the world title. We thought that was the end of Disrespected No More, and here comes MJF. MJF kicks out Great Muta. Ted DiBiase says and Disrespected No More dumped Ted DiBiase, and I thought that was it. But now MJF at the helm of Disrespected No More, and Disrespected No More just that much stronger, because although Ted DiBiase and the Great Muta have been dropped from the group, from the faction, they've picked up MJF, Baron Corbin, and now Sasha Banks. They're just getting larger and more dominant and more troublesome. And Razor ready for tonight. He and Shawn Michaels have a tag team date with Wade Barrett and Apollo Crews at NGW Year 1. All right, Rain, take care, homeboy. My eye is like acting up too, my lord. That's the other thing with like late streams. My ass is like, my eyes and the game crash. Why the game do this? Really? Why the game do this at the very beginning? Why? We're going to keep this recording going. It's going to take a million years for this game to load. Dude, over under, how many times do you think this game is going to crash during Year 1 on Thursday? That's something that I've thought about multiple times. I'm expecting at least 5 crashes. So it's going to be very intriguing to see how this show goes. No! They were intimidated by Wade. They were. Welcome to 2. Dude, again, I say this every time something happens in this game. They are expecting $60 for a new game this year. Get the fuck on somewhere. The current game doesn't even work. Why would I buy another game? Somebody make it make sense to me. Bum 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 boom boom boom. We're not even having entrances on this time. It doesn't even matter. It's really wild that this game doesn't save your EA Star Wars games have been all right recently. They've only had one really good Star Wars game here recently, and that would be Fallen Order. Battlefront 2 had a Battlefront 2. That game started in a lot of shit, especially with the loot boxes. They caught so much hell for their microtransition gambit. Squadrons was okay. I think I wanted a Rogue Squadron game and not like a flight, not like a combat flight sim in the Star Wars universe. That was the only thing that disappointed me in that game. I got it thinking it was going to be like Rogue Squadron, and it was more like the older X-Wing games on PC, which, I mean, those were great games. Don't get me wrong. Pre-order costs even more for the deluxe edition. Ugh. Why are we buying deluxe editions of this game? What is the deluxe edition this year? What do we know about this deluxe edition? What do we know? EA Sports. It's in the game. Oh, it kept that. How did it keep that? How did it kept the other two matches? How did it keep these matches but not anything else that I did? Okay. I respect it. Only thing I know is they'll do what they do every year and have a pre-order bonus probably. Yeah. Hey, your friend made the right choice not wanting this game. You get a tissue to dry your tears from ugh. All right, can we get some entrances on? I want entrances on for everything else but this first match. All right, let's get back to the thick of things. Stephanie McMahon not out here with Wade Barrett. She should be, but she's not. I don't know why not. But oh well. Okay, she is. Why don't they show her in the opening screen? That's what a weird game. Barrett and Razor Ramon lock up here. So I had to redo this match and cut out the entrances because the game crashed mid-match. Look at Razor just dropping Wade Barrett. Razor, the former television champion. The man who beat Brock Lesnar at Living in Sin to retain that title. And what a dominant title defense that was. And what an excellent pay-per-view. Year one, just the first year of NGW, just so many great, amazing things happened in this company. And we're only going to continue heading into year two. Razor and Wade Barrett, they're going to be with their respective tag team partners, Barrett and Apollo Crews, and a power slam from Barrett. Barrett and Apollo Crews taking on Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels at NGW year one. Shawn and Razor just wanting to make sure that things stay fair in that match between Triple H and Samoa Joe. Are you doing it? We should do that. We should do, I'll look up all of the, I'll come up with all the categories. We'll definitely do Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year, and then we'll have to think of some other ones. How do they go from 2K19 to whatever 2K20 is? I have no idea. A big close punch from Razor Ramon that floors Wade Barrett. And a big Russian leg sweep from Razor Ramon. And Razor just dropping Wade Barrett on his back. These are the two big men of these respective tag teams. Ramon, look how Ramon just picks up Barrett for that suplex.
Oh, the bad guy is just begging you
And another suplex from Razor, bringing Wade Barrett back into the ring, slamming him front and center. Feud of the year. Well, okay, seriously, what would you guys pick for feud of the year in NGW? Feud of the year for NGW, what is it? My pick is, you know what? My pick for feud of the year is Kenny Omega, Razor Ramon. Irish whip from Razor Ramon to Wade Barrett. I really liked that feud when it was running. Razor drops Barrett on the top turnbuckle. Match of the year, ADR versus Ricochet. Okay. For me, it's either that, Kenny Omega versus Ted for King. God, I forgot about Jon Moxley and Austin Aries. That's what really started all of this. What's up, FIFA Connor? Hey, man, don't apologize. All that matters is that you're here. Barrett just choking Razor on that top rope. Razor hanging from the middle rope. And a backbreaker from Barrett. And there's a pin. Not even a 1 count. That's what you have to do more to put the bad guy out. Barrett should know that. But like Cruz from last week, Raquel's wrestling Shayna Baszler tonight. She'll be wrestling her on this show. And then you miss who got kicked out of Disrespected No More. No one really got kicked out. Instead, it basically Muta and Ted DiBiase got cut, which we already knew that considering that we haven't seen Muta since he lost the title. And D&M dropped Ted DiBiase. But Sasha Banks officially joined, and she attacked Brie Bella as her initiation. Neckbreaker from Razor Ramon. Tonight's main event, this is the last show before year 1 on Thursday. And the main event is an intergender tag match. MJF and Sasha Banks against Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Barrett, just a big boot that takes out Razor. But look at that. Nice reversal to a pin. And Stephanie just, again, another sigh of relief. Almost her second man losing. Apollo Crews lost last week to Shawn Michaels. And look at those punches from, what has Barrett got set up here? Barrett going outside of the ring. What has he got going? What is he planning? With Razor hanging off that bottom rope. Oh, a drop kick, my God. And it looks like he just cut open those stitches just cut open again. Razor bleeding. And a pinfall from Barrett. And Razor gets the shoulder up. Craig, you coming through on, I talked to your brother. You coming through for the B-Day? You coming through to kick it with the bad guy and the Nacho woman? Nice clothesline from Barrett. Barrett follows up with a series of clotheslines. And look at that jumping clothesline off the ropes. Ramon back up in a shoulder tackle that knocks Barrett off his feet. Oh, and a beautiful black hole slam from Wade Barrett. Oh, hell yeah, Craig. And the leg hook. Barrett has the pin. And only a 2 count for his efforts.
There was a razor-thin margin of error there. Enough with the puns. I can't help it. Another big move.
Irish whip from Razor to Barrett. Barrett up in the air, slammed on the canvas. Key, I think you missed a lot, especially involving your guy. Stephanie just... Oh, a bullhammer elbow from Barrett that cripples Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon just crumpled to the canvas. My God, I've never seen Ramon dominated like that. Barrett picking up a win for the Queendom Talent Agency. Just look at that big boot and that drop kick. That's what busted Razor open. And then once we got back in the ring, Barrett, what a strong performance from Barrett tonight. That bullhammer elbow, going back to that black hole slam. Just Razor ran right into it. And he, for Razor's efforts, look at the kick out here. He gets another kick out, and then Barrett finishes it with a bullhammer. We didn't get that on replay, unfortunately. What a weird game. Why would this game have all of those replays, but not the match ending replay? Weird. Big win for Barrett tonight. Okay. Before we get to the next match, the camera cuts to a new scene. It looks like we're in some kind of conference room. And it's live. Looks like it's live via satellite. We go to a conference room where it's Kenny Omega, and he's sitting across from a large oak table. He's sitting across from Ted DiBiase and Ted DiBiase's lawyer, who we'll call Robert. Robert hands over a contract to the NGW officials who are on site, and it appears that things have been signed for Kenny Omega versus Ted DiBiase at year one. And Kenny leans back in his chair and he says, "So, we're done then? Everything is signed? NGW has a copy? Match is booked?" He's asking. And the lawyer says, "We're all good. Everything is complete." And Ted DiBiase leans in and he tells Kenny, "You're done, Kenny. At year one, I make you go away for good." And Omega, he keeps talking to Rob, the lawyer, and he says, "And just to make sure, you did read over the contract." And Rob, the lawyer, he says, "Ted and I went over it multiple times. We agreed to a steel cage match wherein if you lose, you leave NGW." And DiBiase starts speaking again. "Gone, done, never seen again." And Omega says, "Would you mind reading the stipulation call? Would you mind reading the stipulation clause in that contract again?" And Robert, he opens up that document and he starts reading, and he gets to the line about the clause. "In this special attraction match, the losing party has agreed that their contract with Next Generation Wrestling will be terminated, and they will no longer work for the promotion in question." Oh. And DiBiase's confused. He says, "What? Why the O?" And Omega starts talking. "The language states, Ted, that the losing party, meaning whoever loses this match, will be terminated from NGW." And DiBiase can't believe it. He says, "What the hell are you talking about?" And Omega spells it out for him. "At NGW year one, it's going to be Ted DiBiase versus Kenny Omega, steel cage, loser leaves NGW." And DiBiase can't believe it. He says, "No, you don't. Shut this down, Rob." And the lawyer analyzes the writing over and over, and he just casually says, "I can't believe I didn't notice this before. It's legally binding, Ted. The loser has to leave the company." Ted DiBiase is red hot, and Omega cannot help but smirk. And Omega continues to speak. "So now you're left with a question, Ted. You're stuck in a cage with perhaps one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. A wrestler who also hates your guts with every fiber of their being, by the way. You can't win this, Ted. So what's life after NGW looking like for you?" And DiBiase stands up, tells his lawyer he's been terminated, and tells Rob to find another way home. DiBiase then leaves the conference room, and we go back to ringside, go back to the arena, where we have Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Gonzalez. And it looks like things have changed for NGW year one. That steel cage match that was originally set to be if Kenny Omega lost, he would leave NGW. It has now been upgraded to a full-on loser leaves NGW cage match. And poor Robert being left at that conference room, not even getting a ride back, and fired by Ted DiBiase. Omega gets the last laugh. But here we go. This is a preview of the tag title match at NGW year one. Io Shirai and Shayna Baszler of the Conquest. But tonight, Shayna Baszler goes one-on-one with Raquel Gonzalez. Robert versus Bad Guy Maddox for a job. Yeah, we can say that. A loser leaves NGW cage match scheduled for NGW year one. I'm telling you, this is going to be the pay-per-view to watch. And here comes the NGW Women's Tag Team Champions, Raquel Gonzalez and Britt Baker. No, that's a battle royal tonight. It's an 8-woman battle royal. The tournament doesn't start until after NGW year one. And look at Britt Baker. Easily the most dominant tag team in NGW. They have walked through every tag team that has stepped in that ring with. Well, actually, you know what? It's hard to say. Because I think the Bar have 4 tag title defenses. I did the math. Those guys are disgusting. I don't know why Britt didn't bring her belt. That's really weird that she didn't. And Britt Baker opting to leave the women's tag team title, her half, in the locker room. We'll just say she left it. She left it in luggage. Lost it in luggage. Breaking news coming out of Wrestling Observer newsletter: the title, one half of the NGW tag team women's tag team titles has gone missing. Raquel Gonzalez proudly adorning that NGW women's tag team title. Shayna Baszler and Raquel Gonzalez one-on-one tonight. This has the makings to be an epic encounter in the women's division. And look at Baszler. Baszler using that speed to go after the arm, but Raquel Gonzalez reverses and takes the elbow. And look at Baszler. Baszler reverses out of it in a hammerlock from Shayna Baszler. Good technical wrestling from Baszler and Raquel Gonzalez there, but looks like Baszler has the edge in that department as she Irish whips Raquel Gonzalez to the ropes, and Raquel bounces back into a hip toss. And then punch to the midsection from Shayna. And what's Raquel Gonzalez? No, snapmare from Shayna into a chinlock, but Raquel powers out, and another hammerlock from Raquel, a headlock from Shayna. My lord, this match already intense. Oh, look at Shayna. Look at Raquel. Raquel reverses and gets a hammerlock of her own, and Shayna reverses it. My lord. The technical wrestling on point tonight from both these ladies. Shayna picks Raquel Gonzalez up and just drops her over the top rope. What's going on, Oblivion? How you doing? Raquel now, after eating that turnbuckle, now has Shayna Baszler. Baszler, though, fires an elbow, able to break the grapple. The Conquest taking on Raquel Gonzalez and Britt Baker at NGW Year One. Those NGW women's tag titles on the line. And Raquel now using that strength, that power offense to resume control. Misses a clothesline. Shayna Baszler ducks the clothesline. Shayna, I keep saying Baylor for some reason. Shayna Baszler with a headlock followed by an overhead takedown. And Baszler taunting to Britt Baker, telling Britt Baker, kiss those tag titles goodbye, and she turns around, goes right back to work on Raquel Gonzalez. Baszler you have missed a lot, Oblivion. As a matter of fact, this is the last show of the night. Okay, I want to remind you guys, I asked earlier in the stream and ask again, how would you guys feel about NGW Year One starting early on Thursday? Like maybe instead of 5:30 p.m. Central, 4:30 p.m. Central. Kick from Raquel Gonzalez, and she runs into a knee from Shayna. And look at Raquel. Raquel back on her feet, jumps in the air, a Hurricane Rana.
Reverses, can she take advantage?
Did I do my one thing tonight?
Back now inside the ring.
You know what? I'm gonna do that. Did Liv Morgan lose? Yeah, Liv Morgan and Mia Yim just lost to Naomi and Ember Moon. So Craig, the show's gonna be like 13 matches. So I would think like the first hour would probably, and you gotta also think that the 8-man ladder match is probably gonna go for a while. Plus, when you factor in the crashes and the resets, by the time you get off work, the show's still gonna be going. And we're probably barely going to be halfway through at that point.
She's starting to drag a little bit. She may have underestimated the opposition she'd face tonight.
Shayna continue to work on that arm. But it just depends on everybody. It just depends on what everyone wants to do. I don't remember who got pinned, Oblivion. Baszler just picking Raquel Gonzalez apart. There's that rear naked choke. Shayna's got it locked in. She has she's got the hooks in on the legs. Raquel. Oh, Raquel just just throwing rapid elbows in succession at Shayna. Shayna has to let go of that choke. And an Irish whip from Raquel to Shayna. And a big punch, but she runs into a knee from Baszler. Baszler tries hitting a high knee, misses. Raquel, Irish whips. Oh my God, and she just left Shayna into the air and catches her with a choke slam. Gets all of it. My God, the strength of Raquel Gonzalez. And a kick out from Shayna, are you kidding me? My God, just how dangerous are Raquel Gonzalez and Britt Baker. The fact that Raquel was able to do that to Shayna, I've never seen Shayna get manhandled like that by anyone in NGW. And Baszler hits the ropes and just runs into an overhead toss. And look at Raquel just asking her to get up again in a spine buster. Look how she just planted Baszler. My God, just a wrecking ball is Raquel Gonzalez. Shayna throws the boot up, though. A knee to the back, but it doesn't do anything to Raquel. But look at Shayna. Shayna going to work again, focusing on the arm. Focusing on the arm, but Raquel to her feet. A big punch to the midsection. Shayna just focusing her attack on the shoulder of Raquel. Baszler awaits Raquel to get to her feet. Kick to the midsection. Baszler picks her up, and there it is, that rear naked choke. How she sets that up every time. The strength of Baszler. I don't know if Raquel can break out of this a second time. There's no way. That choke is locked in deep, and Shayna lets go of it. The lactic acid built up in her arms. She couldn't keep the grips. Runs into a power slam. Oh, and look how she just picks up Shayna on the shoulders for a dominator.
That just echoed throughout this entire arena. Hoping to end it here.
She couldn't get the choke. And she loses tonight. She couldn't get the choke. That's the story. Raquel able to just fight for her dear life. Shayna just could not keep that choke locked in. Her arms, the lactic acid building up in her arms, her strength just wearing thin, and Raquel was able to break that grip and resume control.
She continues to impress with the win here tonight.
All right.
One of the most dominant performances I've seen in a very long time.
We go to a video montage showing Kurt Angle hitting the weights in preparation for his return to the ring. And don't forget, at NGW Year 1, Kurt Angle will be taking on John Cena. That's what Kurt Angle is getting ready for. After the video package airs, we get The Bar. The NGW Tag Team Champions come out on stage with the tag titles around their shoulders. And they look at each other and they nod and they hit the ring. And once in the ring, Sheamus declares The Bar as the most dominant champions currently in NGW. And Sheamus continues by saying, there isn't a team they're afraid of in this company, and an army of thugs and goons like Disrespected No More won't be the exception. And upon hearing that, Drew McIntyre and Tyler Bate of Disrespected No More come out on stage, and they join The Bar in the ring. And McIntyre, who up until now hasn't said a whole lot, he has this to say. Sheamus, you're mistaken. There is a reason why I'm out here getting in your face and not the rest of D&M. Because I am the goddamn army. And the crowd goes, oh, the crowd, they hear that, oh! And the two teams continue to exchange barbs, and then eventually they get in each other's faces. McIntyre throws the first blow with the headbutt to Sheamus, and a fight breaks out in the ringside area with the two teams breaking out into a mad melee. You have Tyler Bate and Cesaro fighting around the ring. You have Drew McIntyre and Sheamus fighting everywhere, just knocking into everyone, fighting in the crowd, going everywhere. Eventually, a combination of staff and wrestlers, some wrestlers we're all familiar with. We'll just say, who are some good names to break this up? Let me see. We have Humberto Carrillo, Kalisto, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Kofi Kingston, Ray Phoenix. They're out there breaking this up. Eventually, once the pandemonium calms down and this is all done, we go to a backstage segment with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, who are training and focused and ready to go tonight. And Brie Bella says she cannot wait to get in that ring and bring it to MJF and Sasha Banks, says she's going to kick both of their asses. And Brie Bella then issues a challenge to Sasha Banks at NGW Year 1. And then we go to our next match. OJ is a champion. I'm not sending out a champion to break out a brawl. That's not how it happens.
Someone get this.
Oh God, Wild Harper with a 7-month subscription. I love to see it. Thanks for the big old sub, man. Love to see it, Wild Hoppy. All right, we have the Mildred Burke Battle Royal. This is a preview of the Mildred Burke tournament. Pentagon just sitting in a chair eating pizza while everyone got sent out to break that fight up. You missed a lot. As a matter of fact, Razor Ramon just lost to Wade Barrett. This is the last show of the night. Bayley, one of the 16 women who will be competing in the Mildred Burke Cup that starts on the Shockwave after NGW Year 1. This is an 8-woman over-the-top rope battle royal.
Bayley is fired up. Boy, it's a great mood, man. Just gets you excited about life.
Raquel Gonzalez is the beast, and we were retaining those titles with ease. I mean, Jesus. That match had a really good story in the sense that, like, the first rear naked choke, Raquel Gonzalez was just able to punch out of. And the second rear naked choke, Raquel was just tough enough to stay in. And unfortunately, Shayna just had no choice but to, like, let go of it. And that allowed Raquel to power through, pick Shayna up, and drop her. Hey, Sting, are you still in the chat? I want to make sure we have Sting in here still.
The backwoods brawler.
Damn, MJF going ham on Ted DiBiase. Was this really Sarah Logan's theme song? Because, my God, talk about generic as fuck. Okay.
Cook the food for her family. That is what Logan is all about. She also lives the Viking lifestyle.
And Sarah Logan, I'm really impressed with her, the way she put out Brooklyn Von Braun in Brooklyn Von Braun's debut. Just dispatched Brooklyn Von Braun in her debut. That was supposed to be Brooklyn Von Braun's big coming out party. Her transition from MMA to pro wrestling, and Sarah Logan just spoiled it. And since then, Logan, we had to put Logan in that tournament. She has to be in the Mildred Burke Cup. She deserves to be one of the 16. Really, there are a lot of women in this company who deserve that spot and that recognition. It's just hard to narrow it down to 16. And there's one that definitely had to make it into the tournament, no questions. Manami Toyota, perhaps one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time. An All Japan women's stalwart. Coming over to NGW, she had a fantastic match with KV Ray at Ride of the Valkyries, but came up short, and she has not been on NGW television since. And tonight that changes. She's in this over-the-top rope battle royal with 7 other women. This is just one half of the Mildred Burke Cup.
There's a whole locker room full of women looking to take that top spot.
And don't forget, in addition, here's how intense this cup's going to be. We have the Unified Women's World Champion and the NGW Women's Tag Champions also involved in that battle, in that tournament. The champions will have to be involved. What happened to the Warrior? One of them's injured right now. One of the, I think, hold on, didn't one of them just come back and then the other one got injured? Hold on. Let me double check. I could be wrong. I miss when they were just called the goddamn War Raiders. And then they become the... Oh, they just came back on April 12th. So they're back. I don't know what they're doing now. Man, they were freaking great in Ring of Honor. They're the... What are they? The Viking Raiders now? The Viking Experience? I don't remember what their name is. I really like them as NXT Tag Champions. Cedric's eating pizza with Mr. Pentagon Jr. Cedric said, hey, Pentagon, how would you like to go to Red Lobster? And Pentagon said, that sounds good because, you know, I'm from the hood of Cerro Mero. Oh, they're facing AJ and Omos for the titles? Okay, well, that's good. Ruby Riott. Another impressive woman. She had that match, that classic with Shayna Baszler. They went 30 minutes. And there's Mickie James. Every time I see Mickie James in this game, I think of that ladder match where she literally could have won, but she just like, all she had to do was grab it once and it would have came off. But she just kind of stood there and didn't even try to go for it. And then Zelina Vega knocked her off the ladder, climbed up and won. That's all I remember.
I second that, Cole. It's amazing to think back on everything that Mickey's accomplished, and here she is, still dealing out pain and keeping pace with the best of this generation.
I am back. Just learn what I can do, and Io and Baszler should be scared for year one. Oh, shit. There you go. Yeah, we should start year one off by doing some kind of Slammies or year-end awards. I'm going to post the categories, and then I want you guys to post what your picks are. And then any overlapping picks, those will be the guys who win. If no one picks, I'm going to do my own pick for we'll have 8 categories. We'll have Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Match of the Year, Rivalry of the Year, and then we'll do a Rising Star of the Year, and that'll basically be who's not in the main event picture now that you think will be in the main event picture going into year 2, something like that. And then we'll have a Women's Wrestler of the Year. I don't know if we'll do Betrayal of the Year. That's too specific. That's way too specific. How about instead of Betrayal of the Year, we'll do Moment of the Year. Damn, Sting deserves every award because he's that damn good. Debut of the Year? We could do Debut of the Year. Kairi Sane. This is her first time back in NGW since Las Vegas. Not seen her since then. Promo of the Year so Rock can win an award. How about Booker? Who wins Booker of the Year? Cedric Alexander of the Year. And by the way, don't think I won't be turning that into someone's gimmick. If someone clean sweeps an award, don't think I won't be writing that into the show. They'll be coming out with their awards being big-headed as hell. Kairi Sane, the next member of the Straw Hats. The Pirate Princess Kairi Sane. There's Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch formed that super team at Ride of the Valkyries and competed in that fatal 4-way ladder match, that 4-team scramble for the women's tag titles. I got to be honest. I know that a lot of people shit on Charlotte, but she's probably my pick. She's probably my favorite wrestler right now. She just seems like a big deal. Sasha's also up there, though. The women's tag. Hey, there you go. Hey, the tag team is going to be women and men. Yes. Just like Wrestler of the Year. I think we should do. Should we do male Wrestler of the Year, female Wrestler of the Year, and then an overall Wrestler of the Year? I feel like we should do that. Okay, it's going to be male wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, and then it's going to be MVP. An MVP is basically the overall best wrestler in the company, male or female. On Raw, dude, I am not. First off, that shit they're doing with Alexa seems very goofy to me. I'm not a fan of that. That's one of the many reasons why I'm glad I don't watch that show. And I don't have anything against Alexa Bliss. I like Alexa Bliss. I'm not, whatever the supernatural shit they're doing is, keep me out of it. 8 women. This is one half of the Mildred Burke Cup tournament. My God, Tamina, the first one gone. Followed by, who was the second? Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane and Tamina gone within a couple of seconds of each other. We're down to 6 women. Hurricane Rana from Riot, dropkick from Bayley to Charlotte. Meanwhile, Mickie James trying to throw Manami Toyota out. Float over DDT from Bayley. Can the MVP award be given the MVP? Oh, by the way, I'm trying to figure out how to make it work, but I'm almost positive we're doing a G1 in NGW. I've been trying to figure out how I want to do it. But we will be doing a round robin G1. That's coming down the road. I plan on just calling it the GOAT series. The GOAT, or the, oh, what did I have? I had it written down somewhere. Who's all in the conquest again? Io Shirai, Shayna Baszler, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley. Manami Toyota's got eliminated. We're down to 5. Crucifix bomb for Mickie James. And it looks like Sarah Logan almost getting eliminated by G1. Have you never watched New Japan? New Japan does this big tournament every year. It's a round robin tournament. There's 2 blocks. You have block A, block B. Usually there'll be like, okay, let's look at G1 2021. This is like, these are the best matches that New Japan has. Their best matches happen during the G1 climax. It's almost, okay, basically it's New Japan's version of the NBA playoffs. So you have 2 blocks. And in each block, so this year's G1, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were 10 wrestlers in each block. And the way it works is each wrestler wrestles every opponent in their block once. And if you win, you get a point. And basically, whoever the 2 finalists are in block A and block B, so whoever has the most points in block A, whoever has the most points in block B, they compete in a finals match. And the winner of that wins the G1 climax. And the winner of the G1 climax goes on to challenge the champion at Wrestle Kingdom, which is NGW, which is New Japan's. It's like their WrestleMania. Yeah, the G1 is round robin. And we're down. We're down to 3. Bayley, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan. Roundhouse kick from Riott. The Bayley buddies, the inflatables. I don't know yet because the what am I calling it first off? Hold on, I gotta remember what I called it. Because that's gonna matter. I think I called it the GOAT Series Challenge. And I'm probably not going to do 10 wrestlers in each bracket, but I'll do like 6. I'll do 5 or 7. I'll probably do 5. And there'll be 2 blocks, block A, block B. But we're talking like down the road. Drop toed. Bayley on that middle rope. Sarah Logan. Logan looking to make a name for herself in this Mildred Burke Battle Royal. Northern Light suplex from Sarah Logan, but Bayley back up, fires off an elbow, sends, how do we qualify to be in it? Well, we're not there yet. That's going to be way down the road. That's going to be a way down the road thing. The champion will always be in it. So that's the first, okay, so that's one thing we will be doing. Block A and Block B will be, Block A will have the world champion, Block B will have the television champion. The champs will always be in it. And then the Zero Gravity champion will be in it as well. Big elbow from Sarah Logan. Kick to the midsection from Bayley. Best TV champ of the year. Yikes. Yoshi Tonic from Sarah Logan just gets all of it. And a brutal headbutt. My God, Logan, like I said, built for this kind of scrap. She loves a melee. And we're seeing it. Oh, Bayley fights off the ropes. And Logan just got her clock cleaned. I guess she's too afraid to do anything. What in the hell is going on here? This happens all the time in this game, in Battle Royals. Is Bayley going to get off the rope? Yes, she is. There you go. Logan just waiting for Bayley to recover and catches that leg and drops her with a dragon screw, going after that knee. And there's a code breaker from Sarah Logan. And look at Logan just going to work on those knees. And there's a kick to the head. Irish whip from Sarah Logan sends Bayley into the corner. Misses the uppercut. Bayley with a huge clothesline sends Sarah Logan over the top. There very well could be our winner of the Mildred Burke Cup next week. 1 week, the day after year one, the Mildred Burke Cup begins. Single elimination tournament, 16 women. And a big win for Bayley tonight. Hey, there's the Disrespect No More is arguing even with new leadership. Okay, so before the match, we go to an interview with MJF and Sasha Banks. Basically, MJF and Sasha Banks run down Brie and Daniel, and Sasha is beside herself that Brie Bella has challenged her at year one. And this is all Sasha has to say about it. Be careful what you wish for, girl. And that starts the main event of tonight. Sasha Banks, the newest member of Disrespected No More. And you have to think she's definitely found her confidence since rolling with Disrespected No More. And under MJF's vision, under MJF's instruction, Disrespected No More have just become more dominant, more dangerous. They're expanding across the divisions. Now they have Sasha Banks in the ring. Now they have an opportunity to take the women's title and bring it to the Disrespected No More banner. Sasha and MJF facing off against Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan tonight. We never be. If you think we were vegetarian, yoicks. And there he is, the man who will challenge Daniel Bryan at NGW Year One, the self-proclaimed leader. Oh, he's retired? Well, damn. I was hoping we'd see him in Dynamite a little bit more. I liked him in that Battle Royal.
Inside this arena right now. Not in the least bit, Michael. This is the one the WWE Universe has been looking forward to for
wow, crazy. I thought for sure he got signed by AEW.
Would you agree, Corey, that this match will be anything?
Cool, man. Good for him.
The WWE, Cole. There's no such thing as easy matches here. You know that.
And look at MJF. MJF confident, positive that he's leaving Gear One with the NGW World Title. And there's Brie Bella, and look at that face. She wants some of Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks locking her in that bank statement 2 weeks ago to end Shockwave. It was Sasha Banks' initiation into Disrespect No More, and Brie is here for revenge. And made official at NGW Year 1 is a one-on-one singles match. Brie Bella facing Sasha Banks.
On Total Divas, I actually thought Brie mode was about something else, but you say so. Brie Bella has inspired so many within the WWE universe with their work ethic, her dedication.
I really like Leo Rush as a wrestler. Yeah, he's really good. I like the stuff he was doing for GCW during their collective this year. He had some good matches on, God, which one did I see him on? Was it Joey Janela Spring Break? And there's the NGW World Champion. I got to change Bryan to a babyface. I don't like that he gets booed. I also got to change his entrance back to the yes chants. There's the NGW World Champion. This crowd loves them some Daniel Bryan, and he loves them back. Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan are the everyman wrestlers. Disrespected. MJF is just takes what he wants by force. And Bryan not standing for it. Bryan, he went after Cedric Alexander and Jeff Hardy on last week's Shockwave, taking them out with that steel chair to close the show. Bryan knows what's going on. He knows he's facing an entire army. 7 people Bryan has to worry about going into NGW Year 1.
Hey guys, this is an incredibly important.
And look at Bryan pacing around the ring.
Right, Cole. Despite the title not being on the line, the last thing he wants to do is show any sort of weakness here, because you can bet there are guys in the back studying his every move.
Hey, Cedric, I just show we should talk. I have a proposal. My God. Everyone's always trying to poach somebody. And Brie and Sasha lock up. And Brie's won it. You know Brie wants a piece of Sasha. She goes right after the back. Brie immediately going after Sasha Banks. And how about that performance from Brie Bella against Brooklyn Von Braun in her debut? Just wrestling off pure emotion, dominated Brooklyn Von Braun. And this is exactly why, because of what Disrespect No More have done to her husband. And now she has an opportunity to help her husband get even as she goes after the newest member of Disrespect No More, Sasha Banks. Banks so far not having an answer for Brie Bella. Brie Bella just going for a pin, the leg hook. Sasha kicks out before the hand can even come down for one. And Brie can't believe it. Bryan telling her to focus, get back in there, because Banks is back on her feet. And Brie dodges the drop kick and tags in Bryan. And we have the main event of Year 1 in the ring right now. Bryan going right after MJF. And look at that uppercut from Daniel Bryan. And a spinning back elbow that misses, and an Irish whip from MJF. And MJF places Daniel Bryan on that top rope. Bryan throws a boot, gets out of it, misses a flying elbow. MJF instead hits him with an overhand, and there's a dragon screw from Daniel Bryan. MJF no choice but to roll out of the ring. And look at Bryan right on the heels after him, and MJF tries to surprise him with a sneak attack, and Bryan sees it coming and tosses MJF into the ring apron. Both men on their feet now. Bryan with a spinning back kick and just tosses MJF into the steel steps. And look at Bryan going to work on MJF's shoulder. Bryan wanting to look for that yes lock at Year 1. He's going to do that. He's going to soften up MJF tonight to do that. This is the go-home show. That's right. 6 days from now, we have NGW Year 1 live from Madison Square Garden. We go back to New York. MJF being tossed by Daniel Bryan. Bryan tries for a kick. MJF catches it and drops Bryan with a dragon screw of his own. That's how they ended up outside the ring. MJF runs back in. Slides back out. Elbow from Daniel Bryan. No, MJF with a kick to the thigh. And a full Nelson suplex, a dragon suplex outside of the ring. My God. And don't forget, MJF has a submission of his own, the Son of the Earth. And Bryan just getting tossed into the steel steps. Referee counting down. MJF back to the outside. Bryan tossing MJF across the ring. Right, Bryan gets back in. My God, I keep hiccuping. Where'd those come from? Well, I did drink 2 bottles of carbonated water, I suppose. Spinning back elbow from Bryan, drops MJF.
Great agility there.
MJF trying to get back in there. He's trying to escape Bryan, and Bryan follows behind him. And MJF again, outsmarting Bryan, dropping the dime, getting the drop on Daniel Bryan, dropping him on the top rope. And look at just running those stomps on Bryan in the corner. World title will be on the line in 6 days. NGW World Championship. Daniel Bryan defends against MJF for the NGW World title. Banks tags in and goes right after Brie. Don't forget, mixed tag match. When the woman gets tagged in, when Brie gets tagged in, Sasha must get in the ring. And when MJF gets tagged in or Bryan gets tagged in, MJF, you know what? Let me re-explain it. I'm losing my mind. This is mixed tag rules. Basically, woman wrestles woman, man wrestles man. If Bryan is the legal man, MJF is the legal man. If Brie Bella is the legal woman, Sasha Banks is the legal woman. And a boot up from Sasha Banks. Little tongue-tied there explaining these rules. And there's a Meteora from Sasha Banks. And a big roundhouse kick that drops Brie Bella. Irish whip. That would be super dope, Connor. Maybe we'll get one in the AEW game. And look at Sasha just choking Brie Bella in that corner. Nope, she breaks out of the grapple. Brie Bella does. And, just dropping Sasha on her back. And Brie taunts the crowd in support. Sasha using the corner to get up to her feet, and Brie continues the assault. Oh, big punch. And Brie climbing to the top. What do we have here? A superplex from the top rope. That took a lot out of Sasha Banks. That took a lot out of Brie Bella, but Brie Bella back on her feet. And is that such a, he hits a lung blower? Damn, what did I get hit for? This is the main event. Brie Bella firing off a series of kicks and takes Sasha Banks out, kicking her in the temple. And Brie goes for a pin. And a 2 count. MJF was going to get in there and actually, was he really going to break it up by attacking Brie Bella? What a heinous individual. And what's Sasha Banks doing? Sasha Banks going to the outside. Brie waiting for her. No, Brie just pushes her off. Irish whip. Brie sending Sasha to the ropes. And no, Sasha counters the fireman's carry. And the 2 women, they lock up in the center of the ring. Brie pushes Sasha Banks off. And a face buster. Brie got all of it. This could be it. And look at MJF. MJF running into the ring. Bryan getting tagged in. MJF back in there. Sasha Banks rolls to the outside. She's hurting after that face crusher. And no, Bryan catches that single leg takedown. MJF says, that's okay. I'm just going to place you on these ropes. And Irish whip from MJF to Daniel Bryan. Look at, oh my God, MJF off the rope and a cutter. I've never seen MJF do that before. He goes for the pin. And a 2 count for MJF, and MJF yelling at the referee, telling him to count faster. Well, you guys had a power vacuum losing Ted DiBiase. MJF can help with, because don't forget, MJF has money too. Not only that, MJF is younger. MJF is basically trying to present you guys as a team who looks out for each other, whereas Ted DiBiase was just throwing you guys at whoever was a problem. Because notice, MJF has not told you guys once to go after Daniel Bryan. MJF, you guys have gone after Bryan, but MJF is like, he's not like like MJF is in a match right now with Daniel Bryan. So he handles business. Not to mention, everyone looked down on MJF when he debuted, said he couldn't get that briefcase, and he got the briefcase, so he has as big of a gripe to pick with NGW as you guys do. He feels just as slighted, just as disrespected. And look at MJF. MJF placing Daniel Bryan on that top rope. Oh, my Lord, what is MJF going to do here? MJF is going to maim Daniel Bryan with a suplex to the outside. Why was that necessary? My God, Bryan able to just somehow get up from that. I don't know how you power through a suplex to the outside of the ring, but Bryan has done it. And Bryan and MJF going to war outside of the ring. A superhero villain. Yeah, I've seen those before. Those are pretty cool. I've also seen, like, I used to do that on TEW, which was a wrestling booking game. I had a universe of, I basically ran a professional wrestling company where it was kind of like a big cinematic universe. And it was more like a TV show than it was actual wrestling, but the fighting took place in the ring, so that's where the wrestling came in. MJF doing everything in his power to weaken Daniel Bryan for year one. And Bryan just not going to let it happen. Brie Bella tags herself in. Bryan's had enough. Let me get a piece of Sasha. You recover on the outside. So that MJF upset because MJF saw that as his opportunity to continue to soften up Daniel Bryan. And the wife of Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella, she's standing by her man, going to war with Daniel Bryan against the deplorable, the despicable, disrespected no more. And Banks now going on the attack on Brie. And I can't believe Sasha Banks has joined Disrespected No More. Well, I can. Her attitude since joining NGW, it's just been awful. And look at Sasha just choking Brie Bella. And then just stomping, smothering her with that knee. And a kick to the spine from Sasha Banks. And a big forearm from Sasha. That drops Brie Bella. Bella using the ropes to get back to her feet. And there's a guillotine. No, Brie Bella gets the ropes. I'm going to shut that down, Drew. I'm shutting down any of those because right now I need them to. We're not doing anything with them. They're staying together as a unit. Snap suplex. And look at Sasha just disrespecting Brie Bella. And Sasha just picking Brie and slamming her to the canvas. And a nasty forearm that drops Brie. Brie really going to have to do something or she's going to run the risk of losing this match. And you know Bryan on the outside, he does not like watching his wife get put through this. Just as much as Brie hates seeing Bryan on the receiving end of a beating, you have to think Bryan the same way. Look at him. Just proud of his wife for getting back in this.
And there's the reversal from
Sasha blocks the kick, dragon screw. And look at her just kicking the dirt in her face. The bankrupt net breaker.
She's going for the cover. For some reason, she lets it go.
And a clothesline from MJF. So let me get this straight. When they get in the ring to break up the pin, they just shout. And Sasha sees that this is enough. There it is. The backstabber. She could have followed up with a bank statement and chose not to. Goes for a pin instead and gets a 2 count. And Brie, though, able to just get out of it, throws a punch. Brie dodges another punch and a kick to the midsection. And Sasha slamming Brie Bella to the canvas. What a battle this has been. And now Brie, what's Brie got planned here? No, Sasha catches the boot and a dragon screw. My Lord, what is it gonna take? And look at Sasha looking at Daniel saying it's over. Telling Daniel it's over. Waiting for Brie to get up. Yeah, I don't know what Drew McIntyre and Cedric are doing. It's almost like they don't understand the narrative of disrespected no more, or they're fine. I'm cool with the chatting, but I want you guys to know that like that shit is not happening as far as the booking goes. This is a new version of disrespected no more with MJF faking out about booting someone. You guys are all on the same page. So I'm cool with the chat, but I do want you guys to know that no one's actually leaving the group and no one's arguing any longer. Brie Bella picks up Sasha. Kick to the midsection from Sasha. Drop kick, drops Brie. And Sasha taunts to the crowd. Crowd booing in disapproval. And now Sasha back in the ring. Oh, yeah, trash talk all you want. I'm all for it. It makes me laugh. Brie missing it. I just keep getting messages from people like, hey, man, how about so-and-so leaves D&M and teams with me? I'm like, nah, that's not happening. No one's leaving that group. Disrespected no more is fine, as Cody would say. Kicks. Look at those kicks. Those kicks just chopping away at Sasha Banks. And a 2 count. And there's a face crusher from Brie. And what the hell is MJ? He just threw Brie Bella off of Sasha. My God. Oh my God, that shit cracked me up, Nibbler. Seriously. I was done when I told Nacho Mac about that off stream. I was like, dude, he posted that in the chat and I fucking lost my shit. Sasha catches that elbow. Irish whip from Brie to Sasha. Missing a drop kick does Brie Bella. There's a kick. Look at the dodging. Just the side steps. And look at Sasha flooring Brie Bella. And a running bulldog. And Brie's got it in. But no, Sasha's got that rope. Sasha has to be able to grab that rope. And look at MJF grabbing the referee, causing the referee to break up the submission. And that's okay. Brie has a pin. Okay, big win. All right, so here is what happens after the match. And here's another peek at the moves you saw in that match. Okay. After the match ends, it's pure chaos because Sasha Banks immediately goes on the attack on Brie Bella, and the entire Disrespected No More contingency hit the ring. So Cedric, Drew, Tyler, Jeff Hardy, Baron Corbin, they all hit the ring, and they all just beat up on Daniel Bryan. Eventually, things kind of even out because Cesaro and Sheamus step out on stage. And the second Drew McIntyre and Tyler Bate see them, they head up the ramp, and the two teams meet head-on, and the two teams go back to brawling just like they did earlier in the night. While that's happening, so Drew, Tyler Bate, Cesaro and Sheamus, they all disappear to the back and fight. While that's happening, Brie Bella gets back in the ring and she tackles Sasha Banks, and the two women brawl around outside the ring before just fighting all around ringside. And this leaves Daniel Bryan with Cedric Alexander, Jeff Hardy, Baron Corbin, and MJF. And Bryan starts by throwing punches and kicks at all of them, but the numbers are just too much. I think Baron Corbin is a guy that's not going to be here anymore. I've not seen him. I got to look up the roster to know who he is. But I'm going to keep him in this just for in the meantime until this storyline finishes at least. So it's Bryan left in there with Cedric Alexander, Jeff Hardy, Baron Corbin, and MJF. And Bryan starts fighting him. He's throwing kicks, he's throwing punches, but the numbers are just too much. And they just start dominating Bryan. Bryan cannot do anything to fight back. But then a theme song hits the PA system. And from the rafters, Sting drops. And the crowd goes nuts because Sting, who everyone thought was going to be at year one in his debut, he debuts tonight. And Sting has the bat in his hand. And as soon as Sting releases himself from the harness that he dropped in on, he starts hitting any moving Disrespect No More member with his baseball bat. He takes out Cedric, he takes out Corbin, he takes out Jeff Hardy, and that ultimately leaves MJF by himself. Sting points the bat at MJF, and MJF holds his hands up and tries pleading with Sting, and Sting backs MJF up, and MJF ultimately backs up into Daniel Bryan, who locks in the yes lock on MJF. And MJF is screaming and hollering and tapping out, and Sting, meanwhile, is circling around the perimeter of the ring to make sure none of the Disrespect No More members get back in the ring. Bryan lets go of MJF, and MJF rolls out of the ring where Cedric, Corbin, Hardy, and Sasha Banks are waiting for him, and all five of them retreat up the ramp. Brie Bella gets back in the ring with Bryan, and Sting has a microphone, and he says, "I'll be at year one to personally make sure not a single one of you get involved in the world title match." And Sting shakes hands with Daniel Bryan, and the show ends with Bryan and Brie leading the audience in a yes chant while MJF is screaming madly outside of the ring. And that is the end of NGW Shockwave. And then on Thursday, it is NGW year one. It's going to be a huge show.